Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Recently, I've been going through few articles like these. Thinking about buying Bitcoin? What experts say about big crypto concerns? You have to be mentally prepared. Should you invest in Bitcoin and Dogecoin? Why is crypto so volatile? And other questions answered. On going through these articles, one thing I noticed is that many people do not understand what cryptocurrency is and what is its purpose. So I want to clearly showcase what is the major difference between a cryptocurrency and a fiat currency. We know that nowadays cryptocurrency has become very popular and huge sum of money is being pumped into it. But one thing you need to understand is that this is clear speculation and I do not want my viewers to speculate their own hard-earned money into any asset. So to clarify all these doubts, today we are going to talk about what cryptocurrency is. We'll know what the basics of cryptocurrency are. Then we are going to talk about the most famous cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and its working. And the third thing is that I'll be showcasing you a clear comparison on the fiat currency, which is the US dollar versus the cryptocurrency, and why do you require cryptocurrency. And the fourth thing we are going to talk about is what to choose, where to invest your money. Is it in crypto or is it in fiat currency? If you have come here for the truth, let me unveil that for you. First of all, we need to question one thing. What is cryptocurrency? A cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. Many cryptocurrencies are decentralized networks based on blockchain technology, a distributed ledger enforced by a disparate network of computers. A defining feature of cryptocurrency is that they are generally not issued by any central bank authority, rendering them theoretically immune to government interference or manipulation. Now, what are the key takeaways? A cryptocurrency is a form of digital asset based on a network that is distributed across a large number of computers. This decentralized structure allows them to exist outside the control of the governments and central authorities. The word cryptocurrency is derived from the encryption techniques which are used to secure the network. Blockchains, which are organizational methods for ensuring the integrity of transactional data, are an essential component of many cryptocurrencies. Many experts believe that blockchain and related technologies will disrupt many industries, including finance and law. Cryptocurrencies face criticism for a number of reasons, including their use for illegal activities, exchange rate volatility, and vulnerabilities of the infrastructure underlying them. However, they have been also praised for their portability, divisibility, inflation resistance, and transparency. We also need to know what are the types of cryptocurrencies. The first blockchain based cryptocurrency was Bitcoin, which still remains the most popular and most valuable. Today, there are thousands of alternative cryptocurrencies with various functions and specifications. Some of these are clones or forks of Bitcoin, while others are new currencies that were built from scratch. Bitcoin was launched in 2009 by an individual or a group known by pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. As of March 2021, there were over 18.6 million bitcoins in circulation with a total market cap of around $927 billion. Some of the competing cryptocurrencies spawned by Bitcoin's success, known as altcoins, include Litecoin, Peercoin, and Namecoin, as well as Ethereum, Cardano, and EOS. Today, the aggregate value of cryptocurrencies in existence is around $1.5 trillion. Bitcoin currently represents around 60% of its market value. Once we understand what cryptocurrency is, then we can focus on the most famous cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and we can know how it works and how it is defined as a proof of stake. Second thing we need to know is how Bitcoin works. How exactly to categorize Bitcoin is a matter of controversy. Is it a type of currency, a store of value, a payment network, or an asset class? Fortunately, it is easier to define what Bitcoin actually is. It's software. Don't be fooled by stock images of shiny coins emblazoned with modified Thai baht symbols. Bitcoin is purely digital phenomena, a set of protocols and processes. The key takeaway from the working of Bitcoin is that Bitcoin is a digital currency, a decentralized system which records transactions in a distributed ledger called a blockchain. Bitcoin miners run complex computer rigs to solve complicated puzzles in an effort to confirm group of transactions called blocks. Upon success, these blocks are added to the blockchain record and the miners are rewarded with a small amount of Bitcoin. Other participants in the Bitcoin market can buy or sell tokens through cryptocurrency exchanges or peer-to-peer. The Bitcoin ledger is protected against fraud via a trustless system. Bitcoin exchanges also work to defend themselves against potential theft, but high profile thefts have occurred. Before we go in depth into the workings of the Bitcoin, we need to first understand what is the basics of blockchain technology. The basics of blockchain technology are mercifully straightforward. Any given blockchain consists of a single chain of discrete blocks of information arranged chronologically. In principle, this information can be any strings of ones and zeros, meaning it could include email, contracts, land titles, marriage certificates, or bond trades. In theory, any type of contract between two parties can be established on a blockchain as long as both parties agreed on the contract. This takes away any need for a third party to be involved in any contract. This opens a world of possibilities, including peer to peer financial products like loans or decentralized savings and checking accounts, where banks or any intermediate is irrelevant. Despite being absolutely public, or rather, because of that fact, Bitcoin is extremely difficult to tamper with. A Bitcoin has no physical presence, so you can't protect it by locking it in a safe or burying it in the woods. In theory, all the thief would need to do to take it from you would be to add a line to the ledger that translates to "You paid me everything you have." A related worry is double spending. If a bad actor could spend some Bitcoin, then spend it again, confidence in the currency's value would quickly evaporate. To achieve a double spending, the bad actor would need to make up 51% of the mining power of Bitcoin. The larger the Bitcoin network grows, the less realistic this becomes, as the computing power needed would be astronomical and extremely expensive. Based on the statement that we have gone through, we are just doing a fact check in here. The energy consumption by country, annualized terawatt hour. Now Bitcoin stands in 29th position and it accounts for 135.1 terawatt hour of electricity. Now to hack Bitcoin network, a hacker requires 69 terawatt hour amount of electricity. Now if a person wants to hack Bitcoin from a particular country, he needs to divert all the country's energy into his system to just hack Bitcoin. So this is very expensive process and it is not realistic. This article talks about the sustainability of Bitcoin. Bitcoin consumes less than half the energy of the banking or gold industries. Just read this article and just understand how much energy Bitcoin consumes, and this financial industry will never accept Bitcoin as an alternative currency. Now the next question is, how do you create new Bitcoin every day? The process that maintains this trustless public ledger is known as mining. Undergirding the network of Bitcoin users who trade the cryptocurrency among themselves is a network of miners who record these transactions on the blockchain. Recording a string of transactions is trivial for a modern computer, but mining is difficult because Bitcoin software makes the process artificially time consuming. Without the added difficulty, people could spoof transactions to enrich themselves or bankrupt other people. They could log a fraudulent transaction in the blockchain and pile so many trivial transactions on top of it that untangling the fraud would become impossible. Combining proof of work with other cryptographic techniques was Satoshi's breakthrough. Bitcoin software adjusts the difficulty minus phase in order to limit the network to one new 1 megabyte block of transaction every 10 minutes. That way the volume of transaction is digestible. The network has time to vet the new block and the ledger that precedes it, and everyone can reach a consensus about the status quo. Miners do not work to verify transactions by adding blocks to the distributed ledger purely out of the desire to see the Bitcoin's network run smoothly. They are compensated for their work as well. Now, the next thing which is special in Bitcoin is halving. As previously mentioned, miners are rewarded with Bitcoin for verifying blocks of transactions. This rewarded is cut in half every 210,000 blocks mined, or about every 4 years. This event is called halving or halvening. The system is built in as a deflationary one where the rate at which new Bitcoin is released into circulation. This process is designed so that rewards for Bitcoin mining will continue until about 2140. Once all Bitcoin is mined for the code and all halvings are finished, the miners will remain incentivized by fees that they will charge network users. The hope is that healthy competition will keep fees low. This system drives up Bitcoin's stock to flow ratio and lowers its inflation until it is eventually zero. After the third halving that took place on May 11th, 2020, the reward for each block mined is now 6.25 Bitcoins. Now the next thing, which is slightly technical, is hashes. Here is a slightly more technical description of how mining works. The network of miners who are scattered across the globe are not bound to each other by personal or professional ties, receive the latest batch of transactional data. They run the data through a cryptographic algorithm that generates a hash, a string of numbers and letters that verifies the information's validity but does not reveal the information itself. Now we understand how Bitcoin works and how new Bitcoins are mined every day. Now the main question is, what is the main difference between crypto transaction and a fiat transaction? A cryptocurrency payment service or Bitcoin payment gateway allows business to receive cryptocurrency as a payment for goods and services. It works in a similar way to the traditional processors with a few differences. In both cases, a payment service procedure that enables authentication and processing of a transaction that take place. With traditional fiat processors, the payment service securely records and transmits the necessary details of the payment, authenticates the credentials, and enables the transfer of money, issuing a confirmation to the parties involved. Now, this is the basic fiat processing technique. Now, this is what we know, but in the backend, there is a lot of process going on. First of all, the transaction is being authenticated by your bank and the receiver's bank. Then both the banks confirm the transaction. This process in the whole takes about 2 days and it consumes more amount of power. But for a cryptocurrency transaction, it is much different. Cryptocurrency payment process work in a similar way, acting as an intermediary between the buyer and receiver for processing crypto payments, and also involves recording transactions on the blockchain. They allow companies to accept Bitcoin for businesses online, away from the complex background process of crypto payment taking place in the background. Now, in this cryptocurrency payment processing system, Bitcoin acts as a currency. So it is just like handing over a piece of US dollar from one person to another. There is no intermediary between them. Yeah, this is direct peer-to-peer lending. So this involves much lesser energy requirement and a faster transaction rate. What are the advantages of cryptocurrency payment services? Compared with traditional fiat payment processors, crypto payments are much cheaper due to lower transaction cost. Many cryptocurrency payment processors charge a flat 1% fee to the merchant, some as low as 0.5% compared to 2 to 3% charged by a fiat processing service. Cryptocurrency payment service allows for the seamless transfer of cryptos in any amount from everywhere across the globe through any mobile or computer to the merchant's account in a currency of their choice. Cryptocurrency payment services also offer transparency in the highly dynamic exchange rates between crypto and fiat currency and give businesses access to much safer, transparent, and dependable way of receiving payments. Now again, to fact check the transaction timing, just look at the chart everyone. This is the Bitcoin average confirmation time per transaction. At the time of the recording, it is at 8.363 minutes per transaction confirmation. Now you can send money directly from China to USA and the transaction will be completed in 8.36 minutes. Now this showcases the efficiency of the network and the efficiency of the cryptocurrency as a whole. In the end, Bitcoin has not only revolutionized the financial industry, but it has also revolutionized the way we transact money. I have no doubt by the next 5 years, Bitcoin will become a legal tender and it will become a legal currency. But right now, there's a lot of speculation going on in the crypto market, and I recommend everyone to not invest more than 5% of their investment portfolio. Once we get a confirmation from the major governments that they are accepting Bitcoin as a legal tender, then we can go all in into Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency.